For the arenas, before the awards.
This is b4Nashville Live. I have a question for our guest. Send it to us via Messenger.
Here's your host, George Davis.
And welcome back to another episode of Before Nashville, where we introduce the country stars of tomorrow to the country fans of today. And I've got a young lady joining me tonight. She's in Florida, where, quite honestly, from what I've heard, the weather's better there than what it is here. It's cooler there than what it is here, which I never thought I'd ever say about Florida. But her name is Katie O, and Katie is 15 years old. I'm not even going to try your last name. We're just going to go with Katie O.
It's a long one.
And I don't know what nationality that is. And so I apparently don't speak it. So I'm not going to try. But you've got, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I see three names that you're the only girl in your family.
Yes, sir, I am. And the youngest.
I know how you feel because I've got one other male in the house, and that's our cat, one of our cats.
Aww.
We have two cats, two dogs, and my wife and the youngest daughter. So it makes for a lot of fun. I can imagine what it's like being around a bunch of boys. But tell me a little bit about you. First off, where exactly are you at right now? I know you're probably at home.
Yes, sir. I am right now in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm born and raised here. And you're right. It has been very hot down here. I don't know how hot it is where you are, but it has been, I think, it was like a 95, almost 100 today.
Oh, wow.
But it was hot.
Wow. Well, I know on Saturday when we were doing our little concert in St. Louis, 14 hours, 13 bands. Yeah, it was a very small ordeal. I told somebody it felt like it was 260.
Oh my goodness.
I was dying. I was like going through shirts like crazy. I was trying to look professional, but I gave up after a while. And Brian Judy's on here. There's his little remark. Is that a Boston accent? Brian, how dare you? No, Brian was, he's the founder of Freedom Jam, and we went through that on Saturday. And oh my gosh, it was unbelievable just how hot it was. But
Wow.
Again, we got through it. We had a great time, and it made you feel good. It really did.
That is
So
wonderful.
we were happy about that. So you're in Florida right now. It's a little warm down there. I think when I left work today, it was 84 degrees.
Oh, wow.
I can live with that. I can live with that. And it's supposed to be in the 80s the rest of the time. Now, again, let's go back to the family situation because you've got three brothers that are all older than you are.
Yes, sir, I do.
And this at the time, now I don't know if this is still right because I found out sometimes on these bios, they may be a little off. 15?
They are actually, I'm 15, and
Okay.
then Dillon is about to be 18, and then Mikey is 20, and then Dawson is about to be 22. So we're all kind of 2 years apart.
They got yours right, but your brothers, they messed up. They're not even close.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, I've got 19, 17, and 15. So that was written a minute ago. And you, there's a couple of things I heard I'm going to get into a little bit later. I like to do this little segment in the show called I Heard a Rumor, and I'm going to save that for later on. So, and I didn't tell you about this before. So hopefully we won't talk about it. And if we do, I'm just going to skate by it and you'll know what I'm talking about. It goes with your hobbies there. I'll put it out that way. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
I think you might know what I'm talking about. Tell me
Yes,
about
sir.
starting to sing. I mean, you're 15 years old. You've got a Nashville producer. You've got writers that you write with. that are, I'm assuming, out of Nashville after reading some of the bio.
Yes, sir.
One of the names struck me as I knew who it was. Ken Molden.
Oh,
Um,
yes, sir. Kim Molden.
yeah. Um, and let me see. There was a couple others. Dan Reed Snyder, and John Cirillo. And those names sound familiar to me. So I mean, you're working with people in Nashville at the age of 15. Kind of sounds like a uh, Leanne Rhymes type story.
Yes, sir. It's funny. I did not know this was the path I was going to take, but ever since I was real little, I always had a love for music. And I remember going down to my grandma and grandpa's house, and we'd always make chicken and dumplings. That's actually my favorite meal. I could eat it every day. And we'd turn on country music and gospel and bluegrass music, and we just sing and cook. And then my mom pointed out the way I would learn my schoolwork for tests and quizzes and stuff, I would sing it, and that's how I would memorize it. And then about 5, maybe 4 years ago, I was, how old was I? 11, I think. Might have been 5 years ago, but I was in a little pizza restaurant, and I used to be very, very shy. And they had an open mic night, and I tapped my mom on the shoulder, and I said, "Mom, I want to sing." And she said, "Oh no." She did not know if I could sing or not, and she was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I got up there and I sang 2 songs a cappella, and since then I've just been hooked on music.
Wow, that's so awesome. I love the stories like that. Uh, when you were talking about, I got to tell you this, when you're talking about chicken and dumplings, it took me back to my great grandmother's house. I mean, she's been passed for a while, but I remember, you're talking about making chicken and dumplings, doing that. And then after I wasn't single, was single again, and saying going through my divorce, chicken and dumplings out of a can became one of my favorite meals because I could remember how to make them. I remember doing it with my great grandma, making the dumplings and cutting them out, putting them in the pot. We just had a good time with that. But I
Yes,
don't
sir.
remember, but it was great. And so that was really cool to be able to do that and for you to talk about that. That brought back memories for me. That kind of teared me up a
Oh,
little bit, remember my great grandma. But now, when you get up on that stage to sing for the very first time, that open mic night, what was the thought that was going through your mind?
well, I had so many thoughts running through my mind. All I know is I saw that microphone up there, and I was just drawn to it. And that's kind of when I came out of my shell at that time from being real
Mhm.
shy, and I kind of opened up. And since I had a love for music, being up there, and after I finished that first song, everyone clapped, and I'll never forget that first moment
Mhm.
on stage. And I just knew right at that moment that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
I've got a question for your mom, and I wish she was in the room because I would ask her right now, was she really shy? Because everything I've seen about KDO over the last few weeks since we were introduced has not presented any hint of shyness whatsoever. I
It's
don't mean that in a
funny.
bad way. So,
Yes, sir. She used to say I was the kid going to school. I would grab onto her leg and I wouldn't let go. And I'd say, "No, don't leave me," because I was just terrified. And
mhm.
looking back, like, I can't believe that because now, like, going up in front of an audience, like, I don't know, it's kind of like my second home now. Like, I love it. I love
Right.
talking to people and meeting people. And I just love it.
What do you feel like is your favorite thing about being an artist?
Well, that's a hard one. I have a lot of favorite things. One thing like about writing original music is I love when people come up to me and they're like, "Wow, that song, I can relate to it," or "That
Mhm.
song touched me." And hearing that like feedback, like coming from my life experiences, I don't know, it like kind of touches your heart. And then another thing, like just meeting new people and hearing their stories and how my music touches them. There's just something incredible about that.
Right, right. Now, I got to show you this comment when you mentioned, because you talking about writing from life experience. I don't know if you've done this, but where'd it go? I went to the wrong one. My comments moved up on me. Have you written that song yet?
I have not written that. Hey, that might be a song title. I'm gonna have to write that down.
So, and Brian, no, you will not be allowed to claim being a co-writer on that song. I give out titles all the time, and I haven't seen my checks yet, so you can't either.
Oh my goodness.
I tell people all the time, I can't write a song, but I can give you a title all day.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's fast forward. You said you're about 11 years old, first time you're on the stage.
Yes, sir.
At the open mic night. So 4 years, 4 years, okay, I'm going to put this in perspective. Nashville, they call a 10-year town, and they say it's because, you got 10 years pretty much to make it. That's not altogether true. But if you've been doing this for 4 years and you're having regional success right now, and you're starting to get into Nashville, you're starting to have success outside of Florida, so you're on a fast track to that 10 years. When you think of it and put it in that perspective, what are your thoughts?
Well, I guess I have never thought of it that way, but it's been incredible. Like, God is my rock, and he's been really just guiding me through the music. And I feel like when one door closes, another one opens. And just meeting new people, I feel like he's just placed them in my path. And I don't know, I feel like he's just really a part of this journey as well.
Right. Now, being your age, I'm going to ask you this question. Are you in public school or are you in private school?
I am actually homeschooled.
Okay.
And I used to go to private school about 5 years ago, and then I transitioned to homeschooling for music and for traveling purposes. And
Right.
I've just fallen in love with it. I love that I can go sing, and then I can be in Tennessee or here in Florida and just open my computer and do my schoolwork. And it's very flexible.
You're one of the first 15s that I've ever heard say, I love doing my schoolwork. But I guess you love the fact of how you can do your schoolwork. Let me clarify. It's maybe not the schoolwork, but the fact of you don't have to sit in a classroom to do it.
Yes, so I will say I like school, but there's times when I'd rather be singing or maybe doing something else besides that.
Right. And I have to tell you this, you are one of the most polite 15-year-olds I've ever met in my life.
Oh, thank you very much.
Brian, who introduced us, he even told me, it's always sir, and every email I get, it's Mr. George. And I tell everybody, my dad was Mr. George. I'm just George. Actually, my dad was Mr. Davis. I'm just George. That's my first name. So because I don't feel like I'm that old. I mean, I don't feel like I'm much above, well, right now, probably 100. But but no, I just really appreciate that. Your politeness and your kindness and the way you talk, and you're just a very sweet girl. So I appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Brian, who's into math, here was his comment. He'll blow us up here. 4 years was a third of your life. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That ever thought about it that way?
I've never thought about it that way.
See, when you look at it like that, you've put as much of your life into it as a lot of artists. Jason Aldean, George Strait, Garth Brooks, and I could even go back to some of the the older artists. Probably again, the only one's going to be hard to compete with would be LeAnn Rimes, because she started so young. Her first big hit, I think she was 16
Yes, sir.
when she did it. So, but you're out in front of her, so your voice, you got a very your voice does not match your age. You've got a very, I don't say this in a bad way or a condescending way. You've got an old soul voice. There we go. That's the best way.
Oh, thank you.
So you've got a very, I love the tone of it, and I just the songs that I've heard so far. Actually, the one that you sent me tonight, I just heard it, to be honest, because I haven't really got to listen to much of them. But here's just some of the things because I'm reading over this. One of your favorite songs.
My
I got
favorite
to tell you,
songs.
yeah, the one that they have here, I really love it, and that's Coal Miner's Daughter. Are you a big Miss Loretta fan?
Oh my goodness. I think I'm her biggest fan. I love all of her music.
And the amazing thing was you got to sing that with the Time Jumpers. Now, for those that may not know, the Time Jumpers, that is Vince Gill's band. Now, is that the band or is that the one that he's a part of?
That is his band.
Okay, it is his band. Because I knew there was a connection there somewhere. I couldn't remember because he was a part of another band too. And was Vince there whenever? Did he play when you sang it?
He was actually, I don't believe he was there that night.
Okay.
But I think that was one of my first times there at a Third and Lindsley in Nashville. And that's where they were playing on a Monday night. And I was sitting in the audience and I saw one of the band members and I saw they were talking to people and I told them I was a singer and they were like, oh, well, I guess you can come up and sing one. And that was the highlight of that trip and just a moment I will never forget.
That's great. Any videos of that anywhere?
There actually is a video. It's on my Facebook and my Instagram page, also on my
Okay.
YouTube page.
All right. Well, I'll go check that out because I want to see that. I'm pretty interested in that. There was a song that, for some reason, I thought, and maybe it's because it's Loretta. I think it's Miss Loretta's song. Is Fist City?
Fist City, yes, sir.
That was for some reason that was the song at first I thought you sang with the Time Jumpers, and I thought, well, because you don't hear a lot of people do that song.
Right, yes, sir.
But it's one of my favorite songs by Miss Loretta because I used to know she was substantially younger than me, but a young lady used to sing that, and I would play drums behind her on that. And I thought, man, that and she had a really good, So I'm kind of telling my age. I need to shut up and go on. So, but
Oh,
so
my
what are your favorite types of music? I think you've already mentioned them, but I just want you to put them all together.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What are your
didn't hear.
favorite types of music?
Types of music? Oh,
Yeah.
I have many. Definitely number one on my list. I love country music, and I go towards the classics quite a lot, like Buck Owens, Loretta Lynn, Conway Twitty, Keith Whitley, all of the classics. And then I also have a love for bluegrass, and you'll believe me, I actually have a love for classic rock. I do listen to like AC/DC, Def Leppard. Every now and then, I like to jam out.
As long as you don't say like some weird, I don't know, something odd. Some people say, "Oh, I listened to heavy metal when I grew up," and it's like if you listen to heavy metal, it couldn't have been very, because it hadn't been that long ago. But so when you were in private school, were you singing at the time? I'm kind of shifting gears here, but
No, sir, I was not
Okay.
singing publicly. I did just sing around the house and stuff, but that was before I started singing out in front of people.
okay. So what are your friends? Do you get time to hang out and be a 15-year-old?
I do. I kind of have a little bit of a balance. I get to sing, which I love so much, and then I also have my friends, and every now and then we'll hang out and it's really cool. They ask me all about the songs I'm writing and my music, and they just find it very interesting.
And that was my question. I was going to ask kind of what their response was. So you answered that. That's good. Because some of them might get, uh, Brian says most 50-year-olds wouldn't know classic country. And he's very right. I mean, when you think about that, most of them think Loretta Lynn, who in the world is that? Um, I'm guessing this is Mama because she says that you were brainwashed.
Oh my goodness, that is my mom.
I guess that's why you know country music. You were brainwashed. You were stuck in a closet made to listen to Loretta Lynn, all day
Yes,
long.
sir.
So now you've got. I'm trying to stay away because I don't want to give out too much of this little fun later on. Let's talk about um, the song we're going to play is one that's called Airplane Mode. And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
kind of curious on that. Was this a bad relationship gone bad that made you write that song?
So I think you're going to laugh when you hear the story. It's not about a relationship, but more of maybe a relationship with school, kind of how it came about. I was actually sitting in school one day, and I don't know, I wanted to be singing that day or outside. It was a beautiful day, and I just kind of wanted to put my schoolwork on airplane mode. And it was funny because my computer wasn't working, and I noticed the airplane mode little thing was on, and I wrote it down on the back of my notebook. And I thought to myself, that would be a cool song. And I just kind of wrote how I was feeling. And now that song, it can kind of be like a breakup song, or
Mhm.
just kind of relate to anything. Kind of like whenever you want to go on airplane mode and just get away from the world for a while.
Right. I love the way that you can twist that. I mean, like you say, people come up and say, well, that song really spoke to me, or I can really relate to that. Because in the writer's mind, it may not be the direction they were going,
Hmm.
i.e., airplane mode. You weren't talking. I hope that did not come through. Sorry, I'm getting notifications here and they should be turned off. But it's, you can write a song and you're thinking you're meaning one thing and somebody else is going, no, that's not what I meant. Or that's not what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing. But yet it ties into their life. And I love that. That's a good, to me, that's a good writer because when somebody says, hey, I I didn't get that out of that. This is what I got. Then that means that you're writing a song that is relatable to people.
Yes, sir.
So that's a mark of a very good songwriter in my book. All right. So I tell you what, we've already talked about the song a little bit. We're going to attempt to play it. Katie and I had a conversation before we went on the air about some of the challenges I'm having, but hopefully this will work and you guys can hear it. This is called Airplane Mode. It's on b4Nashville, which is being brought to you by Go-Go Tuners, and they are the go-to tuners for amateur and professional musicians alike. Go check them out. That great green you're in, red you're out technology, amazing stuff. And you need to go check that out, gogotuners.com. Here's Airplane Mode with KDO on b4Nashville. All right, so Katie, I'm getting a lot of notifications that this thing isn't working. So we're going to do it a different route, and I'm going to have to go old school on you here. So bear with me just a second because we're going to get this thing out to folks. Sorry, I had you turned off and I couldn't hear you. Give me just a second here. Here we go. We're going to play it here. All right, so I'm going to have to do it old school so they can hear it because they can't hear it otherwise. All right, that didn't work either. I was telling her about this cute little thing I've got here, and it's kind of a pain. And so let's try it again.
Don't tell me what I'm supposed to be, 'cause you
Well,
don't own my dreams. Now you can't get to me. I'm going on airplane mode. Ain't listening to you no more. On airplane mode. This is me walking out your door. You can text, you can call, you can talk to the wall. It's all the same, 'cause I'll never know. I got you on airplane mode. This road I'm on can be a lonely one, but I don't mind being alone. 'Cause I need to be all kinds of free to sing my own song. So honey, you ain't coming along. I'm going on airplane mode. Ain't listening to you no more. On airplane mode. This is me walking out your door. You can text, you can call, you can talk to the wall. It's all the same, 'cause I'll never know. Got you on airplane mode. Try to text, you can try to call, but you might as well talk to a wall. You can't hold me back, you can't bring me down, you can't hurt me if you can't make a sound. I got you on airplane mode. Ain't listening to you no more. On airplane mode. This is me walking out your door. You can text, you can call, you can talk to the wall. It's all the same, 'cause I'll never know. I got you on airplane mode. I got you on airplane mode. Yeah, yeah. Got you on airplane mode.
all right, so that is airplane mode. That is KDO, and yeah, we had to go a little old school there, but country rap song for you. So I bet they didn't even realize that.
Yes, sir.
She can do it all. She can sing, she can rap, and so that's pretty good. That was I like that part of the song. It was really
Thank you
it was
very
kind of
much.
surprising. First time I heard
It
it, it was a little bit
is.
of a surprise. So
It's kind of like a hidden part. You don't expect it, and then it kind of
right,
just comes in.
right, just enough to go wow, and so I mean, like I said, the song itself, you're like, wow, I wasn't expecting it to be written the way it was, or you're thinking the way it was that you're sitting in school and you're like, I just want to shut it all down. I just want to go out and do something different and enjoy my afternoon. So pretty good stuff there. Again, that was KDO. That was airplane mode on Before Nashville, which again being brought to you by Go-Go Tuners. They are the tuner for amateur and professional musicians. So check them out at gogotuners.com. So Katie, tell me about, let's get into a little bit of, oh, the brothers? What's their thought about little sister and what she does?
Well, it's kind of funny. They come to some of my shows, but they hear me so much around the house that they're like, Katie, we can't take it anymore. Just go sing in your room. But I'm very blessed. They're very supportive of my music, and I know they'd be there in a heartbeat to one of my shows.
That's good. I thought you were going to say they were your security team, So you know how
They
older
can be that
brothers are very
too.
protective. Yeah, they're very protective of little sisters. So that's kind of cool. So let's move on to a little fun that I like to have, and this is one. Well, we're just some things I heard, so we'll get into that. How's that? And you probably won't be able to hear the intro, so I don't even know why I'm going to play it, but as a matter of fact, I won't because it's going to irritate me. It's called "I Heard a Rumor." I have this really cool little intro and all that stuff, but it's not going to work, so we'll just go on. The rumor that I'm hearing is you're kind of an avid outdoor young lady as well.
Yes, sir, I am.
You like to fish. You like to ride four-wheelers. You like to ride, I'm guessing, side by side, stuff like that. Four-wheelers pretty cool. But pretty awesome stuff there. So do you live, is your home in the country? People, there is
Well,
country living in Florida, by the way.
there is, and it's kind of funny because here in Jacksonville is so big that there's different parts. There's kind of the city and then the subdivisions, and then you kind of have a little bit of the countryside. And where we live now, it's kind of in a subdivision, but where my grandma lives, she lives right on the St. Johns River, down a little dirt road. And that's where I spent a lot of my weekends growing up, and I still do to this day. And that's where I learned how to cast a line, how to throw a cast net, drive a boat. That's where I learned all of that, and that has a very special place in my heart. I'm a big bass fisherman. I could bass fish all day. I love it. I also love to brim fish as well. And down at my grandma's, usually if we catch a lot of fish, we'll clean them and then cook them, and then we'll eat them that night. And that's just the best. That's my second favorite meal, other than chicken and dumplings.
So I think it's funny because here you're talking about bass fishing, brim fishing. Some people like Brian only know fish and chips. So
Oh my goodness.
if I can't pick on him, he might as well jump off because he knows that's going to happen anyway. So he's actually. I'll share this one too with you too. He's come up with a couple of good ones tonight. I'm kind of a little bit jealous.
Cast a line. Oh my goodness.
There you go.
Oh, that's a good title as well.
See,
Oh
he's
my
done
goodness.
2 of them. What in the world? That's kind of odd. So he's not usually that good. So what got you so into? Because you're talking about bass fishing like a lot of girls talk about. Going to Claire's in the mall. What got you so interested in that?
Well, I guess having 3 brothers, I kind of, I don't know, did the stuff that they do. And it's kind of funny. I am not a shopper at all. I do not like to go shopping. Only if it's to look at music stuff, then I'll go. But I'm not a shopper for clothes or shoes. I'd just rather be outside or on a stage somewhere. But I think having 3 older brothers, I'm not afraid of dirt or picking up worms or crickets. I don't know. It kind of just became a part of me. And one of my brothers, who is about to be 18, we always go out on the boat together and fish a lot of the weekends.
Wow. So they keep you pretty busy. That's cool.
They do. Yes, sir.
When you have time, do you feel like even right now sometimes that you Sorry, that did not go away like it was supposed to. There we go. Um, the, when I did that, my question lost me. Hang on a second, or I lost it. Um, do you feel like I mean, you talked about having a good balance. Do you feel like you have that with everything? I mean, is there a part of your life that you say, I wish I could do more of that beside the music? Okay. The music, I know that's your passion. I can tell that. But I mean, hanging out with your friends more, or, bass fishing with your brothers, or, anything like that more.
Um, Actually, I'm very blessed. It really is a great balance, and I know there are times where I get really, really busy, and it is nice to maybe take like a day and just be outside and go fishing. But I don't know. I'm very blessed to have such a great balance that I'll have a
Mhm.
show and then I might have a day off and I'll spend it with my brothers or with my mom doing something, and then right back to singing. And I think since I love it all so much, I don't know, it all just kind of plays out. It's just very blessed.
Right. So, um, dadgum, I hate when that happens. I had another really good question I was going to ask you. Um, oh, I know what it was now. I'm going to put you on the spot for a minute because
Okay.
you're such a pleasant, I mean, Southern young lady. You've been brought up well. Do you ever get ticked off at people?
Oh my goodness. Well, I can't say that I like get mad very often. I think I'm the kind of person, I think it takes a lot to make me very mad. I
Hmm.
don't know. Usually it's funny because people ask me that at shows and stuff. They're like, are you ever mad or anything? Because you're always smiling and happy and stuff. And my mom always tells them, everyone says, like, I don't know. We don't see her mad often, but I think when I get mad, I get very mad. But
Hmm.
it's rare that that happens. There aren't many things that bother me. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of a go with the flow kind of person. When things go wrong, I don't know. I always try to think of the positive outcome of it, and I
Right.
just know things are going to work out. There's been times at like shows where a chord might not be working or something goes wrong, that my guitar, the battery goes out, and usually I just say a prayer and it all works out. So that it's just awesome that that happens. But I don't know. There isn't too much that makes me mad, to be honest.
Well, that's a good thing because I was just wondering. I mean, I've never seen, of course, when you're in the public eye, you have to be careful about what you do and say. So, some people just kind of keep that closeted up. Some people don't do such a good job of it. But I was just curious. I mean, yeah, I've never felt like that you were one of those people that, something doesn't go your way, you're, grabbing a throw pillow and taking it to heart and throwing it across the room type of thing.
Oh no,
But
sir.
actually, those were made for husbands and wives anyway. So that's for wives to throw at husbands. But what, okay, um, when you think about the future, what do you see over the next? I'm going to give you a lot longer time than I give most people because I feel like you always want to have that projection. Where do you see KDO in the next 10 years?
I see myself farther along in my music career. I think having a lot more songs out and possibly an album. And of course, one of my goals is to just sing at bigger venues, and definitely like the Ryman and the Grand Ole Opry. That would be an honor to sing on those stages one day. And I
Hmm.
hope that that's in my future. That those are a couple of my goals. I've quite a few goals, but I don't
Right.
know. I'm working hard, and I think since music, it doesn't feel like a job to me. It's kind of, I don't know. It kind of comes naturally. Like I love it so much. It's kind of, I don't know. I just love it. It's just so much fun to work hard
Right.
and to see the progress that's being made. But I think really just having a lot more songs out and meeting new people, getting to bigger venues, and also with my social media, just building that and growing that as well. That's what I kind of see in the future.
Well, now here, since you brought up social media, here's a question I ask a lot of the old dogs, if you will, that I interview. um, have you, since you've been doing music in the last 4 or 5 years, have you seen social media take a different role in what you do as compared to what it did when you first started? I mean, I'm sure at that time you were on social media.
Yes, so I think it's very important, like as a musician or influencer or whatever your like
Mhm.
passion is, what you're trying to get into. I think social media is a very important part of that because it's crazy. It just reaches such a different audience, and it can be anywhere, like all over the world. And it's cool hearing stories like back in the olden days, like Loretta Lynn and all them. They didn't have social media, so it was just kind of getting out there and getting their name out and getting with a label. And I think
Right.
it's so cool for like independent artists now that they can get such a great following just from social media.
I If social media were to go away tomorrow, where do you feel like your career would be?
Well, I think it'd be a little bit harder because you wouldn't have that platform to like post your videos and photos and have people interacting with you. But at the same time, I think you'd also make other personal connections with people singing out at live shows. And that's one part I love about singing live is that I don't know, you
Hmm.
get to experience that connection with the people and really meet them and find out who they are. And I think it'd have a big impact on the music world for sure. Just like getting your name out there, but I think it also have a positive outcome as well.
Absolutely. Good answer, too, by the way. I really, it's hard to find a lot of people that are 10 years older than you are and they think of it the same way. You know, um, how do you go about getting, my thing is always, I know people say, well, I don't have a plan B because this is all I want to do. But you have to take in consideration if
Mhm.
something were to happen beyond your control, that's taken away. I mean, I've interviewed artists who um, have been told that they'll never sing again because of nodules on their throat or
Mm.
tumors, and they've had to have them taken out, and you know
Oh wow.
um, they were able to come back and sing. But had that not been the case, if that's your plan A, then what do you do? So people tell me, well, I don't have a plan A, and I'm not the kind to be controversial most of the time. But I just tell them you always need a backup. I don't care what it is.
Absolutely.
You always need a backup, because something could happen that is beyond your control that you're gone tomorrow. So if it's your social media, if it's something else, back in the day on Music Row, you'd see people like Loretta Lynn and George Jones and, I won't go with, some of those people that were back in the 60s and 70s that were trying to push themselves. And they're walking up and down Music Row with a bag full of cassette tapes
Yes,
giving them
sir.
out. Now, a lot of people that are around your age or something like that, they're not. And I'm not saying you don't, because I really think they're making a comeback, but they don't know what cassette tapes are, so they don't understand that. But it
Yes,
was,
sir.
if something happened and you had to revert back to that, you got to understand how it used to work. Nowadays, the record labels will look at your social media followers. They're going to look at your numbers. They're going to look at your engagement. They're going to look at the people that talk and interact with you and things like that. And that's how they sign now. You know,
Hmm.
um, some people are great singers, and they're phenomenal songwriters, and they deserve that break.
Right. Yes, sir.
So I would really, I really appreciate your answers on that because I just think you've got a really good head on your shoulders and you'll be able to, you'll be able to handle it just fine.
Thank
Um,
you.
so let me ask you this, and dear Lord, don't let Mama still be on because I'm about to get in bad trouble.
Oh
does,
no, I'm
does
nervous.
no, I'm not going to ask about you kissing boys or nothing like that. Oops. Sorry, Mom. uh, she told me off there it was only 3 last week. No, I'm kidding. She is still on. Oops.
Oh my
But
goodness.
but no. Is Mom like your manager? Does she kind of take care of your affairs that way?
She is. I think me being so young, I'm so blessed to have my mom with me because she kind of guides me, like going places, and since I can't drive yet alone, she's always at the gigs with me, which I'm very thankful for. And she is kind of like my manager and helps me book gigs, and it's really cool to watch her do it because then I get to learn from her. So then when I'm a little bit older, then I can do it myself. But there's another lady as well, who's in Jacksonville, and I did one of my first like music showcases with her. And I don't know if she's on right now, but her name is Miss Juanita Hotard, and she helps young singers around Jacksonville. And she's played a
Okay.
very big part in my career, in my journey, just getting me out there and helping me make some really strong connections with the music industry. So she's another person between her and my mom. They're just,
Mhm.
I'm so blessed to have them in my life because they've really guided me along this journey.
Now, Katie, I got to tell you, I'm a little disappointed because you talked about Miss Juanita very high. Now, Mom, you weren't. No, I'm kidding, Mom. I'm kidding. I'm just picking on her. Your mother's gonna hate me.
Oh my goodness. No.
No, I think that's really cool, and it's so. I gotta say, I really had to hold back the chuckles whenever you said, Mom has, she'll drive you around because you can't drive on your own yet, and you think about, here you are. I don't know why that seems funny to me. You're going from gig to gig and need someone to drive you because you're 15 years old, and I have to remember that and I don't apparently have a long memory. My short term memory is very short term. So it's like I forget that you're 15 years old. It's like, well, yeah, she's not going to be able to drive. Oh, but that's a. I love your mom's response here. I'm going to let you see that real quick. You might be able to see it
I'm
already.
her roadie. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Oh, I have to say another shout out to my mom. Yes, she is kind of my manager, slash driver, slash roadie at the same time. She helps me carry all the heavy equipment in, which, oh, I'm so thankful. I would not be able to do that by myself.
Oh yeah. That's another thing. That equipment because when you play out somewhere, this is just totally a random off the top of my head question. When you play out somewhere, how big is the PA that you use that you take with you? Because I'm assuming you have your own PA because of being acoustic.
I do, yes, sir. It's actually I upgraded not too long ago. I believe it's the Evolve PA system, and
Hmm.
it's really cool. It has the sub and just all the speaker in one, and it
Right.
produces a great sound. And it has like I think it's 5 inputs, but
Okay.
it's lightweight. The sub's a little bit heavy for me. She helps me carry that, but the rest of it, you just put it together and less than 10 minutes, I can have it all set up and ready to go.
And that was why I asked you because I was wondering about the weight. Because I remember back in the day whenever we'd have stuff like oh speakers on a stand, and them suckers felt like they weighed 120 pounds each, and some of them probably did. But
Hmm.
nowadays they've been able to streamline that so small. So, Katie, I'm going to put you on the spot. All right.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I think I am ready. Hopefully.
I love that. I love that. Um, Sing a chorus of Coal Miner's Daughter, totally a cappella.
All right. I can do
I've
that.
never done that before on this show, just so you know. So,
All righty. Well, this is my favorite song, so of course I'll do it. All right, here we go. Well, I was born a coal miner's daughter in a cabin on a hill in Butcher Holler. We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing that Daddy made sure of. He shoveled coal to make a poor man's dollar.
wow. That was all. See, and I've got sound effects for all that stuff, and I can't use them. Dadgummit.
Oh.
But I'll clap for you anyway. How's that?
Oh,
There you go.
well, thank you.
There you go. So just so you know, I got you a good manager. I won't say I did it, but Tom's a great guy.
Oh.
And he does manage, he manages the artist that we had as our headliner this past weekend. So Tom knows his stuff. He's got connections out there. So really good fella. And that was awesome. I love the little waver when you first started out. You know, your timbre and your pitch kind of went up and sounded reminiscent of Miss Loretta a lot. I have got the opportunity to meet her one time in my life. I will tell you that.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, well, I didn't per se have dinner with her. It was like a bunch of classic country artists, like Roy
Wow.
Clark and David Sugar and golly, I don't know, the Bellamy Brothers and folks like that. So it was just a
Oh.
radio thing. That's one of the perks. So next time, if you're down in Nashville, which we'll be doing that in February, I think. I don't know if we'll be doing that or not, but we'll be down there in February. And if it happens and you're down there, I'll call you. How's that?
Oh, perfect. Yes, sir.
So, but it's just so good. I love just your sound, and I love just your demeanor, being so polite, and I'm just kind of blown away. I'm really proud, and I want to thank your mama. She raised a good girl, and
Aw,
so
thank you.
Mom, for all the picking on her that I've done tonight, I've just done that because I can, because I control this side of the microphone. Okay, I can do that. So, and it's just a lot of fun. So, what's the next step for you? Are you out touring? Are you getting back in the studio? You just writing songs, prepping for that album that's probably going to be out in the next year, is going to be my guess if you keep going like you are. Where do we see KDO coming up in the next 12 months?
Yes, sir. Pretty much everything that you just said is actually what I'm working on right now.
Awesome.
I am working on an album. I haven't put out too many details about it yet, but I'm hoping to release an album in the next couple of months. And as well as that, I've been writing a lot of my own material, which I'm hoping to share on that album. And then for performing live, I've been performing a lot, like all over Florida. And that has just been a blast, meeting all kinds of people. And I'm hoping to get back up to Nashville very soon and record some more songs.
That's great. And are you still doing the co-writes with other writers and things, or are you just kind of doing it alone right now? I mean, I got to say this: if anything good came out of the pandemic, was the fact that you being in Florida, which, I mean, you could do this before, but a lot of people didn't utilize it very much. You can do Zoom writes with Nashville writers. You can write with LA writers, Muscle Shoals. Anywhere there's good music, Memphis blues artists, it doesn't matter. You can write with any of them. So have you done many of those? Are you looking to do Zoom writes or anything?
I think I've done about like one Zoom write. But I'm hoping to co-write with some other people very soon. And actually, the song Airplane Mode that you played, that was my very first co-write actually on that song. I had written like
Wow.
a chorus and a little bit of a verse. And when I went up to Nashville, my producer said, "Hey, I've got a couple writers, two writers actually, Daniel Reifensnyder and John Cirillo." And he said, "Let me hook you up with them. I think you'd like it." And just the creative process in that room that day was, oh my gosh, out of this world. And that was my very first co-write. And since then,
Wow.
I love it. But I'm really hoping to do some of my own and then some co-writes as well.
So now you've been spoiled because of doing the live co-writes, because all the artists I talk to, they love the live ones more than they like the Zoom ones because of the energy it brings to the room.
Exactly. I feel the same way.
Yeah, it's a whole different feel. I mean, even than writing by yourself. I mean, it's 100% your work, but when you go write in with other people or you go writing with other people, the perspective that they bring to a song or the little nuances that they can bring to the song make a world of difference.
They do. And I think it's so cool because they might see like a different point of view for the song. And that's kind of like Airplane Mode. I kind of thought of it like, just kind of getting away from school. But then they brought to my attention, like, it could also relate to like a breakup or to anything else going on in someone's life. And I think that's another really cool part of it because you'll just bounce off ideas. And I don't know, it really brings the song to life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Katie, I've really enjoyed talking to you tonight. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed hearing you sing,
Thank you.
and enjoyed showing you how absolutely cruddy technology is and the way it's supposed to work and the way we have to make it work. So, like I said earlier, always have a plan B.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Perfect example. So if it doesn't play through your mixer, play it off your phone. So what? People
Yes,
see
sir.
it on Facebook. Big deal. At least they get to hear it. So I'm looking forward to hopefully hearing this album that you got coming out. Hopefully in the next couple of months. I would love to hear more of your stuff. And best wishes to you. I want to see you go far. I think you've got something that a lot of people are going to enjoy.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much for having me on today. It was a pleasure.
Well, you're so welcome. Thanks for coming on. So coming up on Thursday night, we're headed to the other side of the country. We've been in Florida tonight. Next Thursday night, we're off to California. And we got Sam Carey that's going to be with us. And she's going to be another, I think she's 19 years old. So thing, you young artists are just all over the place now. So she'll be on Thursday night. So be sure to tune in. Check Katie out on all the social media, all the streaming media. Give them your social media handle real quick or tell them the best way to get to your social media.
You can find me under Katie O Music. And like it says on the screen, katieomusic.com. If you search up that on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and pretty much any social media, you will find me.
Awesome. And so there you go. That's how you can find out more about her. And just follow her, stream her songs. The big thing, streaming the songs. Get those streams pushed up there, help her out a little bit there. Go to her website. Now, I didn't notice. I'll say this just to if you go to her website, if she has merch on there, that's another way that if you live like I do, 12 hours from here to Florida, buy her merch because probably seeing her in concert, unless something spectacular comes along. You may not get to, and we want you to see her in concert, but go on, support them. I always encourage people, support the artist any way you can, be it their streams or following them on their social medias or buying their merchandise. So please go do that. Katie, again, thank you for coming on. Mom, thanks for allowing me to pick on her a little bit. And Of course, if I get a letter in the mail, then I know I probably shouldn't have done that. So,
Oh.
Katie, you take care. You have a wonderful night.
Thank you so much. Same to you.
All righty. Bye-bye.